As Marvel Rivals bans custom skin mods, one developer with experience on multiple live service games explains why. Gooners, server strain, and lost income are all potential reasons. So I read this article and I felt like this was something that kind of caught my eye just to kind of get some information on and see exactly what those reasonings were. And after reading, the article and getting some of this information, I can totally see where they're coming from and why they decided to go this route. I've personally have been able to play Marvel Rivals. I downloaded it and I've only played it once. I played like 2 matches and I was with Spider-Man, and it was fun. I mean, it was enjoyable at the time, but I really haven't gotten too into it to really experience what the game is like, what it's about, and see how fun it can actually be as far as playing with like other players and everything like that, like friends and stuff like that. So in that regard, I'm not too familiar with it myself, but I can definitely see the appeal and see why people have been into it so far. So we'll go ahead and get into the article right here and then check out the reasoning behind this. So, publisher NetEase Games has officially banned custom skin mods in Marvel Rivals, and one developer with credits on multiple live service games has explained why this happens to so many multiplayer hits. Marvel Rivals recently ushered in its first season, adding in some Fantastic Four characters and reaching record player peaks while doing so. But its season 1 also brought in a ban from its unofficial skin players had made. These included a few anime skins and things like the banned Donald Trump and Joe Biden ones that caused a hullabaloo last week, among others. And with so many online games taking a similar route, developer Del Walker decided to chime in on why, based on his experience working at Rocksteady, Sega, and more. And that's one of the things I remember that was when that was announced that they had done like a ban with Donald Trump's skin. There was a whole bunch of people that were talking about, the fact that they did that ban was kind of unfair because it was, obviously political and it was one-sided. But soon after that, people were showing that there was the Joe Biden, skin that was banned as well. So they can't really be using, politics in that regard for that being the reason why. And I feel like that's a little bit understandable, especially when you're talking about a game like Marvel Rivals where you're playing as these comic book characters. Why you wouldn't want to necessarily bring in players like Donald Trump or Joe Biden, kind of a thing. It makes sense in that regard. So, after working on multiple live service games, these are the reasons I was told mods must unofficially be banned. Walker recently tweeted before listing 8 potential reasons. Exploits are one factor. Some mods can make an enemy easier to see or make one harder to see, which makes sense in that regard because it's like if you're going to make a character that's a modded character, you can probably do some stuff that'll kind of make them either blend in with the environment or kind of just have them so that they're either smaller or bigger than other characters, which in that regard I can see. Even in a game like Marvel Rivals, where custom skins only show up for the players using them, making yourself invisible would theoretically give you a better field of view than your opponents. Other reasons might include server strain, since mods aren't optimized and can often do some weird shit the developers weren't prepared for. NSFW mods or political mods could cause damage to the brand. Yep. And legal stuff, since lots of mod infringe on copyright designs or assets. And that's definitely something that you can see as being a good reason because you don't want, like it said, with them doing something like Donald Trump or Joe Biden, you don't want to bring politics into a game like Marvel Rivals that doesn't necessarily need for it to be there, as well as the fact there are a big chance that if they did decide to do a skin of something that they weren't allowed to, they could be facing legal action for it. It's kind of like when Pow World was released and someone had done a mod where they had made all the pals Pokemon and the human characters that like same like human characters from Pokemon. That modder was the one that got in trouble. It wasn't Power World that got in trouble necessarily, but as the game's developer and everything like that, you don't want to take that chance to have it so that you can get in trouble because of what a modder did. That's just something you want to avoid at all costs. There's also the worry that modders might make custom skins that the developers were planning to add in a future battle pass or store update, and studios ain't about to let you mess with their income. And that's a big one I can definitely see as well, is the fact that, let's say, before the Fantastic Four was added to the game, if someone had done a mod where they did decide to do their own version of the Fantastic Four, that could kind of mess things up for the developers and kind of take away a little bit of what I'm sure they hope would be a surprise for fans when it comes down to this game. There's a lot of rumors of different characters that they want to see come. Like, I believe I heard today there was a chance that Professor X could be coming to Marvel Rivals as a playable character, and I'm sure if that if modders got the chance, they probably would have eventually got to that point where they would have made a character like Professor Xavier be available to play, and that probably would have just taken away the excitement that players would have had to be able to see someone like that be placed into the game. So as far as the reasoning goes behind this, I can definitely see where they're coming from. You don't want, like it said, to mess with their income. You don't want to mess with the chance of them having to deal with some legal issues, and you don't want the opportunity for there to be stuff like politics brought into it when it isn't necessary. So as far as that goes, I can definitely see where they're coming from. I understand why this individual would decide to go this route as far as avoiding mods. And as fun as it was while it lasted, it was pretty cool to see them do weird stuff like that. At the end of the day, it really is based on what the developers want to do, and if they want to decide not to have this be a thing with their game, that's their choice. So I think this is totally justified in their case. I don't think they did any wrong necessarily by banning mods. So once they gave the reasoning as well, I feel like that was a really smart move to go in that direction, just to kind of give the reasoning behind it and kind of let people know this is why, and we're just gonna stand with stand by our guns and kind of stay in that direction. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys think it's fair that they decided to ban modding and everything like that, or do you guys think that they should be able to keep it in and allow it to keep going? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.